Hey everyone, today's video is about what are the qualities of various yellow oil paints. Now as you can see we have several yellows and if you have seen my other color comparison videos, I have the maximum number of varieties in this primary color compared to the others, and the other one is actually blue, and these are quite common ones. This is lemon yellow, and this is cadmium lemon, and this is chrome yellow deep. This is cadmium yellow deep. I don't use cadmium yellow medium, but this is that it works for me and I use it most often. This is Indian yellow, which is arylite pigment. This is what is known as Naples yellow, and this is not a genuine Naples yellow. This is a mixture of white and yellow ochre, and this is genuine yellow ochre. So we are going to see how do they behave with first of all with white, and second is with these two primaries, that is a mixing deep red, which is alizarin crimson, and this is cobalt blue. So let's have a look at all of them. First we are going to mix with white, and I am using mostly sable brushes so that it's easier for everyone to see the colors. And this is what is known as lemon yellow. So let's start mixing. We are going to mix several patches of them, one for white, one for red, and one for blue. This is cadmium lemon, very powerful color. I used it in the past and I now use it for demo, but this is quite a powerful color, and this is the brightest that yellow can get, although this looks quite white, but it is actually going towards the pale. And as you can see that this color is chrome yellow deep hue is actually quite a stiff color. And why I use this color is that India is a warm country, so it demands a yellow that can do almost everything, retaining the warmth that is present everywhere. Even the hills are warm nowadays due to global warming. Obviously it's there, we can see that when we go to the hills. And this is cadmium yellow deep, slightly diluted because I had only this much for this particular paint. And this is the replica of the famous pigment called Indian yellow. Now it's arylite pigment, but it still remains to be a very powerful one and a very beautiful one. At present you don't see anything special in this, but when we mix with other colors we'll be able to understand the benefit of this color. Now this is Naples yellow. This is not a genuine Naples yellow, and those are very expensive. And in most cases, what we have are white mixed or other mixtures of yellow ochre with white and maybe some other yellow color. And this is yellow ochre. This is like a staple pigment in my palette, whether watercolor or oil or gouache, anything, even in oil pastels. This is like a very common color that I use. I use it almost all the time. Okay, so all the colors have been laid out. So what we can see from looking at the pigments, that this looks quite stiff, lemon yellow, and I'll provide the details of the pigment number. But here cadmium lemon is a very yellowish, bright yellow and saturated, and there is quite a difference between these two. This is like whitish and this is actually very yellowish. And this is although a mixed color, and this is a chrome yellow hue deep, and I think it's quite a good color because I've been using it for so long and not using these two colors that frequently. So this is like the basic mixing yellow, and it does the job quite well. And I'll also this is the pigment number, and whereas This is Indian yellow, and this is aerolite pigment, and it's quite a beautiful one, because it does provide that, Indian yellow concept, the concept of Indian yellow, because Indian yellow has a very strange sort of an origin, that is, cows' urine has been is used, or was rather used, to make this particular pigment in the past, like 200 years ago, 300 years ago. And these cows were fed in mango leaves, and possibly, as far as I can remember, they were not allowed to drink water or something like that. But eventually, the color that was extracted would be something as beautiful as this. Okay, so this is cadmium yellow deep. I had very limited amount of cadmium yellow deep. I don't use cadmium yellow deep because I use this color, and whenever I need something like this, so I mix a little amount of red, and that does the work. So that's all about it. And this is Naples yellow. So Naples yellow has nothing very special. I mean, it's just like a warm white. So if you need a warm white, you can use a color similar to this. Maybe a genuine Naples yellow. They look quite different because Michael Harding has some Naples yellow, a pale Naples yellow deep, something like that. But there are other colors that are similar to this. So we can use that. And there is this color, which is yellow ochre, which is quite popular, and one of the oldest pigments in the world. So you can see there is quite a variety that I have, and all of them are useful for various reasons. I use a lemon yellow for monsoon days, because I need to have something that can provide the bright, beautiful greens. That appear during monsoon season, and also this can be used like a warm white to some degree. When you mix it with white, it becomes quite pale. You will see that. So let's just look at it. So let's mix all the colors. You can see that quite easily the lemon yellow becomes a little bit pale. Add slight bit of, this is not too much white actually, but eventually it becomes somewhat colorless. But the camera is showing that it's actually quite pale, but it's not that. It has a yellowness to it. This is actually becoming like a yellowish white or something like that. From here onwards, we shall see very different effects. So this is not a white. I think the colors are now somewhat visible. This is not a white. This is a pale yellow color. Maybe I can use a little bit more, and here I can mix this thing, and you can see that the color it isn't that weak at all. Okay, so now this is my basic color. I'll add white to this, and you will see that it is becoming slightly more yellowish rather than reddish, because this has some amount of red present, but still there is a difference. This is quite a bit warmer. This looks like quite pale still in front of these two, because these two are comparatively very powerful colors. You can see that even with yellow, this is quite a bit redder than this thing, more orangey to be quite exact. Now we are moving on to something that is called Indian yellow. The concept of Indian yellow is that it's heavily orangey in nature, and it provides an extraordinary color. So we shall see when we are going to mix it with white, and the real colors will come out. Now another thing is that all of these colors have a tendency to become opaque, whereas this color, you can see this is actually a transparent one. When we try to spread this, it becomes transparent. So this is like an ultimate glazing color. If you have to make something warm, then you can use this color and maybe give it a little wipe after working like this, and it can create this beautiful warm color. In the past, when the glazing methods were used, and even today some artists use the glazing method, they will possibly use this color rather than any of these colors. So let's just watch what happens here when we continue to add. When we start to add this white into this aerolite color, which is supposed to mimic the old Indian yellow color, it turns to a very fiery, orangey yellow, even more powerful. It looks more powerful than the cadmium lemon. And when we saturate it, it looks quite nice. Let's just add a little bit of white. Let's see what happens. Because when I'm seeing it, I can see quite a lot of variation in this. And maybe use a little bit more here. So you can use it in opaque manner, With white, this is what you can get at max. Let's just create a value differentiation. Let's just continue to add white. And you can see that this is quite a vibrant color, and there is quite a versatility is the main thing. It's very similar to the colors like ultramarine or Naples yellow, those colors, those old colors. So this is, I think, can do a lot. And if you feel that even if you have painted something that is quite pale and you need to add vibrance to it, you can use the aerolite color. Okay, so now let's move to further. This is already quite pale, so further lighten this particular color. See what we can gather. This is quite a beautiful color, in fact, and this is something that you can create very easily. You don't need to buy a Naples yellow. Maybe you can add a little bit of warmth. Maybe we can add a little bit of yellow here. Maybe this one. It can behave like any of the proprietary colors, so you don't need to buy this color. This can be used like a convenience color, but there is no need for it actually. But it's still a very dynamic, beautiful color, and especially useful for a rainy day kind of a scene or something like that. It looks quite beautiful. It has a different feel of its own. Now we have left with this yellow ochre, which is quite a popular color. Let's see how does it change with white, because adding white to yellows is like a very common thing. So you can see that it's going towards this color actually. So you don't need to buy a Naples yellow, to be quite honest. In those days, pigments were very rare, so they had to use whatever they had in front of them, and it was important to use those pigments to their maximum capability. So that's how you saw those extraordinary results of the past. So this is quite a versatile color. If you mix it with black, it will turn towards a gray green, which you have seen in zone palette and various other academic paintings. So there's nothing to talk about this more, because I use it almost in every painting. So I have to buy this color. Okay, so now I'm going to mix all of these colors together for each and every yellow, and let's examine what happens. Okay, so we have done all the mixes, and at this point, what we can see is that lemon yellow produces the weakest orange of them all. Whiteness of this color actually leads it to a very pale pink kind of situation, whereas the cadmium lemon actually produces a very beautiful bright orange color and produces a excellent warm red. I mean, if you could just see how it will lead to a very beautiful bright red color, which is not cadmium but quite effective. And these are being warm colors, they are producing decent oranges, because orange is a warm color. So you can see there are various gradations of the colors, whereas the Indian yellow did not produce much except for a very warmish color. So this can be used as a glazing color, because this is also transparent, this is also transparent. So a very effective color to create something like a fiery red kind of a situation and create variations that are in layers. So Indian yellow is a transparent color. You need to use it for a particular situation, but if you wish to use it opaque in an opaque manner, then you have to use a mixing opaque color, a white or maybe some other opaque colors, to get something out of it. But this is on its own is a different color altogether, as with any transparent colors. Now what we have here is a Naples yellow, and we can see only pinks and nothing more. So we don't know what to do with this. Maybe I can just add a little bit again, but we are scarcely getting any oranginess in this. we are getting the pinks because of the presence of white. White is going towards blue, and they are creating something like a pink. So there is no oranginess. It is a pale orange. So since it's pale, it's going towards white, and it's creating a pink when it's mixed with red. So this is a different color altogether. So we have to understand the characteristics of a Naples yellow rather than using it like a regular yellow. It's not a regular yellow. Whereas yellow ochre is producing better results. You can see there are, you can create something like this, whereas it can produce fiery, or rather a slightly, muddy kind of an orange. Let's just check if anything more can be achieved with this yellow ochre. Yes, it's like a brownish orange. It's not a pink like this. It's a brownish orange. It's a good one. So Zorn used this color, and vermilion, or you can use cadmium in place of it, or pyrrole, and create a very fiery oranges like this, maybe like this. So it should be a little bit brighter. And in here what happens is that since this is not that warm, and the red that we are using is a mixing red, which is a cool red, so is creating this sort of a mix, which is more muted. Okay, so now let's look at the blues. I mean, the biggest variation that we can see is here, and lemon yellow can produce a very good, greens. It's still a very bright color, and moves towards blue, to be quite honest, because it has that paleness. But comparing these two, you can see that this is quite warm and very saturated, and more dynamic compared to a lemon yellow. But this has its own place, and this has its own place. So whichever you wish to use for a green is perfect. But I think this will provide a better result. Whereas the warm colors, you can see the cadmium as well as the chrome, they are quite different. This is going more towards olivey, or warmish colors, whereas this is somewhere in the middle, and this is the color that we see in India in most cases. Okay, so Indian yellow, we can see that we are getting a very deep olivey color mixed with this cobalt blue, and the results could be even more striking with a color like ultramarine, because which is also transparent. So we'll get a very dark color. When we are mixing it with white, we can see the nature of the color, and it'll continue to be a beautiful one. And so we are getting a beautiful green color, which is olivey in nature. Whereas the Naples yellow itself is not leading us to any greens whatsoever, but what we can see that it is creating some sort of pale blue color, maybe, which is slight bit greenish in nature. I'm not sure, maybe a little bit, but this can create another effect, which can be helpful in skin tones. Maybe combining these two mixes can lead to Caucasian skin tones, maybe landscapes, muted landscapes. So this can be a different, but if you are trying to mix an orange or a green with Naples yellow, then it's not going to work. It has its own uses, but not for the general purposes. Now we have yellow ochre. As you can see, that yellow ochre is providing us a muted green, and it is quite pale, but it works. Maybe we can just add a little bit of blue to it, a little bit more, and see where does it lead to. Here is a blue. Yellow ochre is not a very strong color, so we are not expecting much. And here we have a bit more blue. Let's see where does it lead to. The green is mostly in the middle values, whereas the higher values are leading towards yellow. This cannot be treated as a brighter version of a green, but this quite definitely looks like a green. And when we are mixing with this color, well, it's leading to the same value more or less. So here it is. I mean, you can see that various yellows have their own uses. When you have a transparent color like this, you can create something this fiery sun-like color. And you also have cadmiums, chrome colors, as well as the lemon yellow, which has its own uses. I use it for monsoon, rainy season, and this is like a permanent fixture in my palette. All the paintings will have a yellow ochre, whereas you can use a Naples yellow uh, very beautifully and effectively for maybe figure painting purposes. So all of these have their uses. So you just need to understand how, when you're going to use what kind of yellow. So understanding that will eradicate a lot of problems. If you need a cool environment, maybe you can choose something like this. Maybe you can choose something between these two. But you may not choose to use a very warm color. Whereas if you have a warm situation, very warm light or something like that, you don't need to use the cool colors. If you like this video, then please click the like button and also subscribe so that you can get notified when a new video has been uploaded. And if you have any questions and clarifications, then you can message me in the comment section below. Also, I have come up with a course that can help a person to paint a realistic picture. So if you are interested, then you can message me here as well. So I thank you for your time. Take care.